What's up, you guys? Mrs. Chaka Cotton checking in, and I wanted to talk to my people and let you know that when you have a God-given talent, or when God is revealing a God-given talent to you, He has a funny way of doing things in order to bring you right to your rightful place of where you need to be with it. How God introduced me to the beauty industry, I was roughly about 12 years old. At the time, I was young, didn't really know too much about hair, didn't really think about what I wanted to do in the future, anything at all. So I found myself just kind of staring at someone one day. And with me staring at someone, I literally was just kind of imagining and computing this entire style on them in my brain. My brain kind of like turned into a computer and started putting together an entire look for their hair. So as that happened, I'm staring and they're looking at me like, okay, why are you staring at me? And next thing I know, this entire look, it was a hairstyle that appeared in my mind. It was like I started to put it on them as if a computer would just generate this image of, the before and after. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want you to think I'm weird, but I've put together a whole look for you. So the same way it was in my mind, I literally were like, come on, let me try it. Let me just see how it comes out. So I took them in there, I did their hair, and exactly how my mind saw it, my hands were able to translate. So from that moment on, I just kept going. I started doing my mother, I started doing my sister, and next thing you know, their friends became clients, and it basically, my clientele just continued to grow like that. So here it is. By the time 7th and 8th grade came, I had a full clientele sitting in my mom's living room. Okay, so that was the first part of being introduced to the beauty industry. Part two was the makeup portion. I think roughly around 2017, I started taking an interest in makeup. By me being in the industry and doing hair and having a salon and always seeing beauty in the works, of course, I was exposed to many, many makeup artists, always being around it. So I am a creative. I love art. I love, the seeing everything go from its original version into completion. So I'm staring and I'm like, okay, here you go. I'm staring again, y'all. I'm staring and I'm like, I really like that. Like, I love being able to, create a whole another look, from, you have a beautiful canvas already, but I love being able to elevate and change a look completely, especially if we're going artsy. So I'm like, okay, I want to try. So I started teaching myself. I started practicing. I was practicing on myself, practice. And then finally, it got to the point where I started developing classes and technique time at the salon. So that way myself and my teammates and colleagues, we could all have practice time. This was all free to the clientele. This was time to just literally develop your skill. So we started doing that. It started getting really good. And then the professional artistry just pretty much took off there. Now, the third portion of my niche of what I do, because I am a hair, makeup artist, and beauty photographer, I actually, those who knew me from high school, my freshman year of high school, I actually took a photography course. So you know how in high school they tell you, okay, pick your electives and, find something that you're interested in. Now, I had no idea that, the elective that I chose then was going to tie into my life later on. However, I was interested in doing photography because I love nature. So I would take pictures of flowers and leaves and like the small droplets of water trickling down the leaf and seeing the vines and seeing like the intricate parts of a flower and how the petals and everything unfold. And so just, all the intricate detail. So I had an eye for nature. And so I got really good at taking pictures and capturing detail and just, very minute detail. So it just all kicked in for me. And so I put the camera down for a couple of years because I'm like, I'm doing this beauty thing. I don't really have time to play with the camera. I'll pick it up later. Little did I know that it was all going to come back around full circle and tie itself together, because here it is. I got to the point where I was hiring photographers to capture my hair and makeup. And so it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I took photography in high school. Why don't I just pick up the camera and use it for the beauty? Like, I was taking pictures of detail. Detail is detail, right? So it made sense. Let's put all the detail together and take the pictures of it. Let me do the capture. When I did, it was like the light bulb moment happened. It was like God just allowed everything to come back around full circle. And he just showed me, like, listen, nothing that you did was by mistake. Every single piece of this puzzle had to come together in its own time. You started off with hair at the age of 12. You started off with makeup in 2017. Then you started off with photography freshman year of high school. Now all of these pieces can tie together and make you who you are, or give you the skill set that you use in your everyday beauty career. So I say that to say, don't think of the things that you do as small. Don't think of the things that you do as insignificant. God has a way of using everything that he has brought you through in order to prepare you for your next step, for your next journey, because you would have never told me that I would be using this the way that I am today. I am a firm believer that everything that God wants to develop in you, he'll bring you to it. He'll bring you through it. So just be encouraged. Don't let anyone talk you down, because of course there could be a lot of times where you're pursuing things that you may not necessarily be interested in, or you think is a waste of time, but just hold on. Give yourself a little grace and allow yourself to see that all things work together for the good. So stand still. Let it come into full fruition, and I promise you, you'll see the outcome of it when it's all said and done. Mrs. Chaka Cotton, checking in and checking out with you guys. Believe in yourself, keep pushing, and keep watching those puzzle pieces. It's all gonna flow. Until next time, a little shock therapy. Love you guys. See you later. Be blessed, beauties.